You know, I got asked a question the other day, and I'm going to tell you what the question was. And I was asked, who do I think was the most dangerous people, at No Limit? And people don't know the whole story about Kane and Abel and who their uncle was. Their mother's brother was named Plea, and he was one of the biggest drug dealers in the United States, from New York to Miami. He ran with a very dangerous Puerto Rican crew. And a lot of people don't know that Kane and Abel are Puerto Ricans. They're from New York. And his Kane and Abel family was very, very dangerous. His uncle was the type of person that you hear on Monday and you go on Wednesday. That's how dangerous it was. Yeah, that's the uncle.
Identical twin rappers Kane Abel could spend up to 3 years in jail after pleading guilty in a federal cocaine case in New Orleans on Friday. The second time they've been arraigned in the case, their lawyer said. The former No Limit MCs, born Daniel and David Garcia, reached an agreement with prosecutors in which they admitted to committing misprision of a felony, concealing knowledge of a felony that they did not participate in, by lying to federal agents about the activities of drug kingpin Richard Plea. U.S. District Judge Sarah Vance rejected an earlier plea agreement that came with a sentence of 2 years in jail, saying it was too lenient. In that rejected deal, the rappers pleaded guilty to drug conspiracy charges, admitting to receiving 10 kilograms of cocaine from Plea in 1996 and 1997.
Most people don't know a lot about Kane and Abel. His story is unique. And every time they ever mention, people always talking about how they got caught up, went to jail, messing around with drug kingpin Richard Plea. But these dudes been around for a minute. They some unique dudes, and they come from some humble backgrounds. Most of us always thought they was black, but they're actually Puerto Rican. They came from New York. They been on their own for a long time. Their parents died at a real young age, and they basically been on their own, taking care of themselves. They didn't come straight down to New Orleans when they left New York. They went to Florida first. I want to say they was in Miami. I'm not really sure. When they came to New Orleans, they was unknown, of course, and they just was some dude that was trying to get into the rap business. You would see them around sometimes, hanging out at Riverboat Hallelujah and different clubs and stuff like that, but nobody really knew nothing about them. And one time I remember seeing a video they done, and they done it in the Calio, and that kind of like made everybody look at them like, who is these dudes? They from the Calio? And people wasn't really sure where they was from, cause you don't just go do no video in the Calio like it's all good. You gotta know somebody back there. So they had got affiliated with the Calio fast. But that was the only thing they ever done that had anything to do with the Calio. So after a while, people realized that they wasn't from the Calio. At that time, they was calling themselves Double Vision. This was back when you used to have to pay to have videos played on your TV. And these dudes did a video in the Calio, and it was like shocking to a lot of people. But these dudes been in New Orleans for a while. After they left Florida, they came to New Orleans, and they were trying to break their way into the scene. Things was looking good with them because they linked up with some hard hitters in the city who was in the rap business. They got taken in by Mia X. Mia X was like the person who brought them to the rap scene, was introducing them to people. Mia X eventually got signed with No Limit. And when she was signed with No Limit, of course she introduced Kane and Abel to Master P. Master P didn't sign them right offhand. it didn't go down like that. They was just introduced, and they did some talking and stuff like that, and they was kicking it. After a while, Master P started really getting into the New Orleans business, where he wanted to have that New Orleans sound and get a bunch of rappers from New Orleans. Because if you recall, most of No Limit artists was from the West Coast at one point. So he did eventually link up with Kane and Abel, and of course signed them to No Limit. Kane and Abel was, like I said, all of it, they was out there. They was hanging in the streets, they was hanging in the clubs. People knew exactly who they were when they saw them. I saw the video with Big Swole from No Limit. He was saying that Kane and Abel was kin to the drug kingpin Richard Pena, but that wasn't really the case. That wasn't what it was. No one really know how they got introduced to Richard Pena. Some say it was through Fiend. About a bunch of people don't know that Fiend was actually signed to Richard Pena's record label before he was signed to No Limit. He left Big Boy and then went to Richard Pena, who had got him out of the contract with Big Boy. And that was one of the things where Richard Pena got linked up with Master P, and he was going, he signed Fiend to his record label, then he kind of rented him out to No Limit, and that's how that was going. But that's who they're saying that introduced Kane and Abel to Richard Pena. I know Big Swole say that they was kin, it was his uncle and stuff, but that's not the truth. I mean, it was a big room at the time. Everybody was talking about that, but that's not the truth. For some reason or another, Kane and Abel had started hustling bricks for Richard Pena. Don't really know the reason, because they was rappers, so maybe it was a thing where rap wasn't really making money at that time. It's the 90s, so street money was definitely more money than rap money at that time. In a strange twist, they were saying that Kane and Abel was actually the plug to Master P. A lot of people try to say Master P wasn't never in the streets, he wasn't never hustling, but that's far from the truth. He's always been a hustler. He always had little selling rocks and stuff like that in a project. And then when he got bigger, he was selling bricks. And they trying to say that Kane and Abel was actually his plug. They were supplying it. That's just what they're saying. Who knows what the truth is? We do know that Kane and Abel, when they was arrested by the federal government, that they was responsible for selling 40 kilos at a month. So that was a lot for some dude that was in the rap business, just to be hustling like that.
Identical twin rappers Kane Abel could spend up to 3 years in jail after pleading guilty in a federal cocaine case in New Orleans on Friday. The second time they've been arraigned in the case, their lawyer said. The former No Limit MCs, born Daniel and David Garcia, reached an agreement with prosecutors in which they admitted to committing misprision of a felony, concealing knowledge of a felony that they did not participate in, by lying to federal agents about the activities of drug kingpin Richard Pena. U.S. District Judge Sarah Vance rejected an earlier plea agreement that came with a sentence of 2 years in jail, saying it was too lenient. In that rejected deal, the rappers pleaded guilty to drug conspiracy charges, admitting to receiving 10 kilograms of cocaine from Pena in 1996 and 1997. The judge will announce whether she accepts the new agreement at the rappers' sentencing hearing on September 12th. We're hoping at that point the case will be at a close, Kane Abel attorney Richard Westling said. Prosecutors claim Pena lawfully financed the rapper's music careers after the Garcias met him while studying at Xavier University. But when the relationship deteriorated, they say, he put them to work in his drug ring. Pena was arrested in 1997 and pleaded guilty to 8 murders. Kane Abel's rejected deal would have required the rappers to tape anti-drug TV ads to air in several cities, including New Orleans, Westling said. The rappers also would have had to give school lectures and include anti-drug literature in all albums sold by their label.
No Limit family has twins also. Kane and Abel. Savage. What's the spice that Kane and Abel bring to the whole pot of gumbo?
Our music is like, basically, you know what I'm saying, if you know our story, you know what I'm saying, we grew up, we basically raised ourselves, you know, our parents died when we were little, so our music just brings that reality of everything we write, everything we say, we've been through, you know what I'm saying. It's like we got spirituality in our stuff, it's reality, but at the same time, you know, all praise to the Most High, we bring that other side of it. We ain't just talking about like running around just killing people, you know what I'm saying. We talking about the reasons why death happens and the reasons why people die, and just, you know what I'm saying, just God looking over us, you know what I'm saying, and things like that.
Is that why y'all chose the name Kane and Abel?
Basically, yeah, you know, brothers, it's just like Kane Abel was the first murder, you know what I'm saying.
Over jealousy.
It's over jealousy, and that's what's happening out here on the street. Brothers killing each other over this jealousy, you know what I'm saying. It's just like, that's just the name that fit, because we just trying to bring that message, man, you know what I'm saying. This is exactly what's happening. That's why this reality music can't be stopped, because it's so real, you know what I'm saying.
The name of the album is Seven Sins. You have, you all told me you have a spirituality about yourselves, and you also have the names Kane and Abel, you know what I'm saying. How's the Seven Sins tie into all of this?
See, basically, you know, Kane and Abel, it's just like, we men, you know what I'm saying. The album is hard, you know what I'm saying, but men have two sides. They got the hard side, and yet they got, you know what I'm saying, the side of them that's, you know what I'm saying, sealed, you know what I'm saying. And maybe you might not see it till we go to a funeral and see one of our brothers go on the ground. That's when you see that side, you know what I'm saying. And the seven sins, you know, brothers committing these sins every day. That's just the reason why, you know, it's heaven or hell, you know what I'm saying. The sins that we commit, you know what I'm saying. It ain't just like sloth, greed. It's the sins that we commit, you know what I'm saying. Jealousy, murder, you know what I'm saying, drugs. We try to go to the root of everything, you know. Kane Abel, just like the name, goes to the root of the first murder. Seven sins go to the root of every murder and every crime, you know. So that's basically we always trying to go to the beginning, the root, you know what I'm saying. Money, the root of all evil. That's what this whole music industry revolves around. So, you know, that's